Welcome on this cold winter's day for our session on pruning apple trees. I wanted to find out the origin of Espaliers coming to the UK and other fruit frameworks that we grow fruit on in this country, and I found this great article. In the 16th and 17th century, thousands of Protestant refugees, Huguenots fleeing from Catholic oppression in France and Flanders, sought sanctuary in Britain. This had an influence on British gardening, especially fruit growing. As many Huguenots were expert market gardeners, they set up fruit and vegetable gardens all over East Anglia, London and the Kent area, bringing with them both espaliers and dwarf fruit trees. These techniques had certainly reached Britain by 1600. Sir Hugh Platt, writing in 1608, recommends them, although he does not use the term espalier. He uses a different way of describing it. Instead of privy hedges about a quarter, I commend a fence made with lath or sticks, thinly placed, and after graced with dwarf apple and plum trees spread upon the stick. So this is a great entry and a great description of how espaliers came to Britain, which is great. Let's look at the Espaliered apple tree a little closer. It has one central stem. Off of that stem, left and right, are laterals. These laterals are literally in tiers that are about 1 foot apart up the tree. Off of those laterals come shorter little shoots which form the fruiting. These are called spurs, and we have to prune to get these spurs because there only should be about 50 millimeters, and in the summer the growth goes beyond that, so we have to trim it back in the winter back to 50 mil to get the result. That way you get perfect fruiting and flowering. Let's take a look at the lateral on the espalier and how we prune it, and this wonderful diagram I've got here shows you just how that happens. If you look below the lateral, any growth going the wrong way and downwards has to be taken off. The spurs themselves have to be cut above a bud, leaving 3 or 4 buds on the spur. Any dead, diseased or damaged has to be removed, and any growth that's too vigorous, this kind of growth does not produce fruit and has to be removed. It's as easy as that. As you can see here, this is a typical espaliered apple tree. Please note the horizontal laterals here, and also please note here we have these vertical shoots. We're going to be pruning the vertical shoots to form the structure of our fruiting apple tree. So what do? I think the first thing is to remove any unwanted growth that we don't need, just to narrow it down so we can actually get an idea of what the lateral looks like. So I'm going to take off any dead or disease like here. I'm going to take these shoots down to an outward facing bud. Any ones crossing over, again there's another dead bit there, let's get that out of the way. Just so that we can see what's going on a little bit. These are crossing, they're no good, so we want to take out one. So you get a nice clean framework. That looks dead, so let's remove that. Also, you want to take out any branches or shoots that are going the wrong way, downwards for instance. Let's take those out. There, that's going downwards again, let's remove that. That's dead, let's remove that. Now you want to take these to the 50 mil mark to an outward facing bud, let's do that. a bit like roses really. It's cleaning it up. There's about 3 buds on there. They're going to form your flowers and then your fruit. So this is going to look quite good. That's dead. Get a snag like I've just done there, just try and clean it up a bit. Make sure that cut is slanted as well, that way the water can run off and that stops any disease forming or any canker. Canker is a disease that is known on apple trees and it's one of the worst. So we can mow that a bit more. Nice outward facing bud there. And gradually starts to look a lot cleaner. And that's about it. Lovely clean horizontal lateral there, and all the shoots looking very, very clean and nicely pruned as well to an outward facing bud. I think that's absolutely perfect. Once you have finished your pruning, you need to clear up afterwards. Any clippings on the floor here can cause disease, so you want to take them away. So get yourself a really nice bag, pick up your clippings, pop them into the bag and take them away. Another important part, this time of year especially, is to add some mulch. And we've got this lovely layer of organic matter here. This will help feed the plants, keep the weeds down and keep that water in during the summer period. So this is the finished result. These wonderful laterals now. I've got some wonderful spurs on here, ready for flowering and later fruiting in the summer. I have often been asked about how to prune field-grown apple trees. So I'm going to give you a little demonstration just to show how that's done. What you really need to do is prune these so that there's plenty of airflow through the plant. This will prevent pest and disease. So that's the rule number 1 really. Again, sharp secateurs that are really, really clean. If they're not clean, they can spread disease to the tree. So the main thing is to try and take these branches here back 1/3, remove any dead, diseased or damaged material on the plant, and that's how it's done. Now I can start just by taking these back 1/3 to an outward facing bud. Let's have a look. Let's take that away. The other thing is, remember presentation. So really, you want to make it look good as well. Any branches also that are going inwards or the wrong way can be taken out. You want to create a cup in the middle where there's space. A bit like when you're pruning roses really. Don't leave any stubs either. Let's take those away. Another outward facing bud there. There's quite a bit of dead on here as well, so I'm just going to remove that just to tidy it up. Like so. Back 1/3 to an outward facing bud. This is crossing over. You don't want any branches crossing over because once they rub up against these branches here, they can cause what is called a canker. A canker is a disease on apples that rot can get into, so you don't want that. So let's take that one down. Reduce that by 1/3 to an outward facing bud. Same here. Always to that outward facing bud. More dead on there, let's take that away. That can cause pests and disease. And that's about it. Thank you for listening today. I hope that you've enjoyed the video, and hoping that you have a wonderful harvest later on in the season after you've seen this pruning demonstration.